Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find ourselves on a crisp autumn day in Arabia to witness a match between Hera playing as the blue Tatars and JorDan playing as the red Mayans. Now as the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the respective civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Tatars are a civ that does everything in its power to push you towards cavalry, and specifically cavalry archers. You get Thumbring and Parthian tactics for free, your mounted archers get extra line of sight, and some of your mounted units like your Step Lancers and your cavalry archers can actually be upgraded to get even more armor. Now, if you're not familiar with how Age of Empires works, units on a high ground deal 25% more damage to units on the low ground, and units on the high ground take 25% less damage from units on the low ground. The Tatars have a bonus that increases that 25 to 50% when we're talking about attack. So any unit from the Tatari army that is on the higher ground deals 50% more damage than a unit that is below it. Now, the Tatar unique unit is the Keshik, a fairly middle-of-the-road cavalry unit that actually generates gold as it attacks enemy units. Now, it doesn't generate a lot of gold, but it becomes very, very useful in the later stages of the game as players expand their bases and, don't really wall them off that much, the pro players. The Keshik is a fantastic raiding unit. Imagine sending them in, killing villagers, while at the same time generating gold. Now, in order to support the production of your cavalry units, the Tatar economy does come with two bonuses. First, your herdables contain 50% more food, and starting in the Castle Age, every time you build a town center, it does spawn 2 additional sheep. Now, overall, the Tatar, in my opinion, are a civilization that is incredibly micro-intensive. These are very expensive units, cavalry archers in particular, that have very significant advantages if taking the high ground. So definitely need to keep an eye on your military, definitely need to click and click and click as fast and accurate as possible. That being said, they are being controlled in this game by Hera, who I don't need to tell you is known quite, I would say, internationally for his amazing micro abilities. Now, going up against the Tatars, we have the Mayans, who, like the Tatars, push their players towards archers, although not cavalry archers, of course, because the Mayans do not have any cavalry whatsoever. Let's see what happens here in this little clash. Amazing game sense here by JorDan, gets the scout, takes a little bit of damage on his villager from the wild boar. And will Hera, right as I say, his micro is fantastic, does not lose the scout. Great play by Hera. Anyway, as I said, the Mayans push their players towards archers. Your archers, crossbows, and arbalests become progressively cheaper as the game goes by. 10% cheaper in feudal, 20% cheaper in castle, and 30% cheaper in imperial. You can upgrade your skirmishers to throw a second weaker projectile, and your unique unit is the plumed archer. Think of it as a very, very fast, very tanky unit that is great, fantastic at killing infantry. Now, because archer units don't really win games, you can't really destroy structures with archers that well. To support their ranged units, the Mayans can upgrade these guys, their Eagle Scouts / Eagle Warriors / Elite Eagle Warriors, whatever they are, to give them an extra 40 HP, which takes them, I believe, to around 100. Now, their walls are 50% cheaper, so you can hide your ranged units behind cheaper walls, making them a lot more effective and a lot more deadly to deal with. Economically, to support their military, the Mayans start the game with 1 extra villager, but 50 less food, and their resources do last 15% longer. So overall, I would say that the civ balance in this game is fairly even, if not very, very slightly in favor of the Mayans, given how they have the much cheaper archer units and tankier Eagle Warriors. But of course, as always, so much more depends on the actual players of the game than the actual civilizations, in my opinion. And these are 2 fantastic players. Take a look at the Elos at the top of your screen. We're talking about a 2600 Elo, 2612 versus 2684. Hera is supply blocked at 20, but he is going up to feudal. So as is our opponent, his opponent rather, I would say, what is this, 6 or 7 seconds behind? So fantastic play here. That being said, we'll take a look at how the players decide to progress. These intro statistics are generally my opinion based on, the Civ details and bonuses. But of course, every game is different. All these pro players decide how they want to play, and I leave it up to them to paint the painting of a game for us as we watch. Let's take a look at their bases and see who has any advantage over their opponent. Hera's base is pretty cool, actually. Very easy to wall off on all sides. I hate little bodies of water. You never know if an enemy can sneak in. You might accidentally cut a tree, etc. But Hera's base is fairly easy to wall off. His opponent, I would say, in a similar position here. The back is very easy. His stone is very secure. Gold, very exposed at the front, as are his berries. Let's take a look at where Hera's resources are. Also very front-facing the gold. He needs to take this hill immediately. He needs to build structures here. You cannot give this hill to your opponent to attack this gold, or at least jeopardize the gold. His stone is also in the back. So no real advantages for any player here in terms of base location. And I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen. Let's take a look at the battlefield we'll be working with today. Fairly long rush distance, I would say. This is a little bit longer than usual. A lot of flat ground around, but look at this center map, hills and mountains. So it'll be very important for Hera, in my opinion, to take control of the center of this map. And in fact, even mountains ringing the edges of his opponent's base. We'll see if Hera agrees. If not, we'll see what strategy he comes up with. But for now, our Mayan player sending out, I would say, a pretty decent starting army. We'll call this, like, when you get your first bicycle, you get training wheels. This is the kind of training wheels feudal Age of Empires army. 2 spearmen, an eagle scout, and an archer. Hera responds by sending 3-4 scout cavalry to the other side of the map. And now his opponent has taken the high ground here, but Hera quickly walls off. Unfortunately for Hera, his opponent has brought 1 archer. So this safe area has now become a kill zone of villagers. That's always a problem when you wall yourself off. If your opponent comes with archers, you're SOL, my friend. You are shit out of luck because you have nowhere to run to, and now you've got archers raining arrows on top of your head. That being said, Hera does not look too concerned. His own scout cavalry have made it into the base of his opponent. Any kills so far? No kills. And what about his opponent? No kills. So this is why I call these armies, training armies, or training wheels. Feudal armies, in my opinion, notoriously weak. I don't think they're ever meant to really get too much damage done. They're more of a distraction force, more of a annoy your opponent into making some kind of mistake and looking a certain way while you attack in a different direction. If you're lucky, you can get kills with them. Don't get me wrong. We've seen players, we've seen Mr. Yo beat the Viper, I think, in one of my videos with a feudal age scout army. So they can be used quite well. And look at the Tatari high ground. These spearmen should have taken a lot more than just 1 scout cavalry. But amazing play by Hera, amazing play by JorDan to shoo Hera away. Is this a second? Yeah, we've got a second Eagle Scout coming out. The first one is still in this clump, circling, trying to find a way in. But Hera just not letting him. I mean, these bushes, these berries, apples, whatever these are very exposed. And let's see if JorDan decides to exploit that. He does. Does this army still have any kills? Still no kills for him. 1 kill for Hera, which was the spearman that we saw earlier. But he's got to be careful. I mean, 3 spearmen are going to shoo away this cavalry force, even with 1 extra, actually 2 extra. 6 scout cavalry is not a terrible force, to be honest, in feudal age. Archer upgrades going down for our Mayans. Okay, so he agreed with my assessment that the Mayans are an archer civilization. Both players sitting on the exact same villager count. Both players broke as a joke. Let's take a look at their bases, see if we can divine what the players want to do. We've already got a blacksmith and an archery range, so JorDan is ready to go up to castle the second he gets the necessary 800 food, 200 gold. Hera has an archery range and a blacksmith, the exact same buildings and the exact same upgrades for our blue Tatar players. So both players, similar styles. Wow, okay, 5 spearmen coming in. they've got to be careful. I mean, these Eagle Scouts are weak as shit, even against Spearmen. But the second he hits Castle, if he upgrades them, they are just going to destroy any archer unit that Hera can put out on 2 feet. I mean, cavalry archers is a different story. But now we've got this army being shooed away. Yeah, army advantage here very much in favor of JorDan at the moment. That being said, you've got to actually fire with your units. He walked... I think was he doing a walking command instead of an attack command? I'm not sure why JorDan's archers weren't firing at Hera's skirmishers, but Hera's skirmishers are taking down a lot of units. How many kills for these guys? 8 kills so far. And again, you see the high ground. Always as a Tatar player rather, take the high ground. I don't know what the way of saying the nationality for Tatar. I don't think it's Tatarian. I believe it's either just Tatar or Tatari. So I'm going to alternate between the two. If you know, please do let me know in the comments below. But Hera here putting on a lot of feudal age aggression. Upgrades going down for infantry. Okay, so he wants to make these Eagle Warriors a little bit tankier, or rather Eagle Scouts. So now they come with 3 pierce armor. So yeah, you shouldn't have walked right into those guys. But does Hera care? His Scout Cavalry are ripping through these villagers. Another archer pays to defend the motherland. But now Hera's starting to lose skirmishers, and these Eagle Warriors, the Scouts rather, are basically full HP. So together with the tower, I think this signals the end of aggression in this part of the map. Hera pivoting to the south. A market going down for our red Mayan. Let's see if he decides to balance his economy, which is just a fancy way of saying buying food by selling other resources. Okay, for now, though, not really finding an angle to engage in Hera. He's circling around the outside. Oh, if he brings the skirmishers here, it might be trouble for these. Like I said, this is good. This is a good strategy to defend against melee units, right? They need to demolish the walls, the house. You can fix it like this villager is doing. But the second your opponent brings ranged units, this becomes a kill zone. That being said, does he care? He's coming forward with 5 Eagle Scouts and 5 archers. Let's see if he can get what he can get done here. Our red Mayan player. For now, Hera has stopped sending units across the map. The mini-map is very quiet. I don't see blue dots going anywhere. I don't see red dots going anywhere. And there we go. JorDan finally built a composition in large enough numbers to take care of this army by Hera. Hera's going to lose all these skirmishers. They're walking at a 0.96 to these Eagles who are running at a 1.1. If he loses the Scout Cavalry, that's basically the end of all of Hera's aggression. But that Scout Cavalry is much faster. These are not elite Eagle Warriors. They are still pretty slow, although faster than most infantry. And as I was rambling on about kill zones and villagers and skirmishers, Hera has made it up to Castle, our red Mayan, not far behind. And what is he building here? Okay, Hera's building a very, very ambitious forward siege workshop. Does he know that he's going to run face forward into a bunch of army units? He doesn't care, because here we go, Steppe Lancers, one of the coolest units in the game, available only to 3 civilizations. Remember, they're called the quote-unquote nomadic civilizations. So if you're playing Cumans, if you're playing Mongols, or if you're playing Tatars, you get access to this very cool unit that can actually attack through the unit in front of it, so you can stack them to destroy your opponents. Incredibly strong against archers, I would say. Very weak against other cavalry, and very weak, I would say, against infantry. Although, yeah, these are now crossbows. 12 crossbows are not going to do, are going to do quite well against these Steppe Lancers. He's going up to 7. Okay, so feudal aggression has given way to castle aggression. Although, like I said, archer units are not usually game ending. Very open here by Hera. Why is this open? Remember, I said in the beginning of the game, you have to control this hill, otherwise your main source of gold is in jeopardy. And now Hera has no gold miners whatsoever. For a civilization that pushes you towards cavalry archers, you need gold. That being said, the mangonel should shoo away these crossbows, which have taken a few volleys to the face and are now weak as hell. And these Steppe Lancers are going to chase these guys down and trample them to death. And here they come trying to attack. I don't know that the mining camp is the best thing to attack. And remember, these guys can attack one tile through. So Hera can actually put them here in the corners, I believe, and attack the villagers. Although he's got to be careful. The monk with the hockey stick is on the job, and he manages to get one convert on the stronger Steppe Lancer. Fantastic here for JorDan. And we have good old-fashioned high-speed chase here between two incredibly fast units. Look at the bottom of your screen, 1.45 for the base model. These are not elite yet. A Scout Cavalry with 5 kills. What a hero Scout Cavalry it is. And now Hera's circling again. He's coming forward with the Mangonel. 5 Steppe Lancers opposing this are, I would say, I was going to say weak, but they're not that weak. Oh god, this one takes a shot to the face. Okay. Hera here is zoning out these crossbows quite well. Gets another one. 3 kills so far for this Mangonel, but I see the red line of a spell being cast. Okay, our Mayan player is collecting relics at the same time. Gets one that's close to home. A second town center going down for him. Decent location near the back stone, so hopefully we get to see a castle, and hopefully we get to see plumed archers. Although I don't know that they're necessarily that effective against Steppe Lancers, if that's, you know, the direction Hera wants to go. And there we go. I said in the beginning of the game that Mayans do not get cavalry, and literally 27 minutes later, JorDan proves me wrong. So, like I said, everything I say in the beginning is just my opinion. He's getting sanctity. He is upgrading his monks. They are going to be tough to deal with. Although not for this many Steppe Lancers. Does get one more convert. Okay, Hera's doing some good damage here. I mean, look at the kill count at the bottom of your screen. 58 to 35. So far, Hera has put on a lot of aggression here. A third town center going down for our Mayan player. He says, I don't care. Kill my villagers. Kill my units. I'm going to just out-expand you and then eventually, hopefully, out-boom you. He is sitting at 55 villagers to Hera's 53, though, so not a huge advantage. And now he is trying to get into this juicy, juicy wood line with 6 villagers, a few of which are injured. So Hera wanted to build a siege workshop here, decides against it, and rather his slow-moving, tanky, rock-throwing units are making their way across the map. This one tower, I mean, yeah, it's great, but it's not going to really do anything against these Steppe Lancers. They've got 3 pierce armor. Why are you not shooting? I'm surprised that JorDan is moving his units so close. I mean, what's the range right now on these? 7. You don't need to move them 3 tiles away if your range is 7 tiles. So I'm not too sure why JorDan is continuing to move. He did it with his archers, I think, when they were here, and now he's doing it with his crossbows. Yeah, Hera's looking to end this right now. But he's got to be careful. You don't want to mangonel your own units. And where, oh, where is our red Mayan player going? He is going to intercept reinforcements. Unfortunately for him, that reinforcement is a mangonel. I mean, they're pretty good against feudal age units had Hera not upgraded these, but these are, yeah, these are upgraded crossbows. He's got the +1 armor on them, I believe. Yeah, the +1 armor. So the mangonel will kill the unit that it targets, but the adjacent units won't die that quickly. My god, these Steppe Lancers are just shredding through these crossbows. Fantastic trade here for Hera. The remainder of this band of brothers of Steppe Lancers has 11 kills to their names. And now we've got 2 opposing castles. I, of course, prefer the one for JorDan here on the high ground. If he can get it up first, he can start shelling away at these villagers who are within the attack zone. The question is, will he get them up? Will he get the castle up first? 4 mangonels, Steppe Lancers coming. Maybe distracted with the monk. This one in the side. Let's watch. Oh, I am incredibly sorry. That was not a castle. In the heat of the moment, I saw what I wanted to see, everybody. I did not see a town center. I saw a castle. And now this castle is up, and bye-bye mangonels. Oh, bad, bad, bad for Hera. who loses his entire army, gets knocked down to 5 step lancers who are where? Over here. So these are fresh-faced recruits with a 5th one coming in. Or rather, this one's not a fresh-faced recruit. He's got 2 kills. Where did he come from? Why is Hera building town centers? I mean, he gets, remember, starting in Castle Age, the Tatars do get the 2 sheep every time a town center is created. Let's watch. I know there's action happening, but I want to see the 2 cute, adorable sheep with their very Instagram-worthy blue bandanas. There they are. The question is, why is Hera building these town centers here? I mean, if they were Persian town centers, if they were Sicilian town centers, hell, if they were Byzantine town centers, I would get it. Why is he building these town centers here? In any event, he is up villagers 67 to 58. Another town center going down. Not a terrible location. A lot of high ground around it to, you know, put it in jeopardy, but he needs the stone. Even though he's got 15 villagers already on stone. And yes, here we go. The plumed archers are coming out. Oh, you got to get out of the attack radius, though. You are not upgraded well enough to withstand town center fire. And these 3 step lancers just keep circling. They're being so annoying. Finally, there we go. The little graphic tells me this is a castle. The question is, I mean, I like the placement of the castle because it'll get to attack this town center, but could have possibly put it out, you know, further out onto the map. You've got the plumed archers, you've got the crossbows to defend it. Hera going up to 9 step lancers. These are +1 attack, +2 defense step lancers, so they're going to shred through these plumed archers. JorDan is, I mean, his waypoint or whatever you call it shouldn't be out here, right? Okay, but all of that is hypothetical because the second castle comes down. But what does Hera do? He just shifts north and builds another town center and another town center. He's got 13 villagers on stone, although JorDan has 13 villagers on stone too. Okay, so one player here opting to build castles and unique units. The other player opting to build town centers and step lancers. Okay, finally builds a castle. We'll keep an eye out on Hera's upgrades once he gets his first castle up. As I said, these step lancers, they're cavalry archers for the Tatars, can be upgraded to get extra HP. Where are you going, solitary scorpion? And JorDan just running around the map, trying to be annoying, trying to pull Hera away, while I guess he consolidates his own force. He's going up to almost 80 villagers to the 93 of Hera. So as I said, the Tatar units, number 1, require crazy levels of micro. Very, very good micro. But because they're very powerful units, they're also very expensive. And so Hera's going to need as many villagers as he can. He's going up, as I said, now he's going up to almost 100. But this is a very aggressive outpost for him. 24, 25 villagers, a castle, a town center, now farms going down. He is making himself at home. He has taken his shoes off, put them on the ottoman, and says, I like it here. So I think I'm going to stay. Yeah, he is. JorDan's throwing away a lot of plumed archers. I don't like this by Hera. I mean, you're running away from 1 monk. You've got 6 or 7. How many here? 6 step lancers. You could have easily taken that monk and all 3 of these plumed archers in exchange for 1 step lancer. That is a good trade in my book any day of the week. Another castle going down for Hera, more defensive. Surprised by this castle. Hera's been, you know, foot on the gas pedal aggressive this entire game. JorDan has not been able, except for that initial feudal push, and when he lost all his crossbows in early castle, has not been out on the map in a long time. Oh no, Vipergate tries to Vipergate these step lancers, and he's gonna lose a bunch of villagers here. 2, I think 3 villagers if I count right. 1, 2, 3. I mean, you didn't have to delete that wall there. Another castle going down. No, okay, thinks better of it, and then relocates it up here. Better placement here. Get to cover the gold. 9 step lancers for our blue Tatar. 15 plumed archers. Now our red Mayan player is going up to Imperial Age. getting stone mining upgrades, getting farm upgrades. Hera is in the resource collection phase. He is not spending a cent on anything other than villagers. He is going up to 126 villagers to JorDan's 91. And now he's also an Imperial, sold a bunch of resources. Take a look at the left side of your screen. Quote unquote balanced his economy. And now the Keshiks are out. I love the Keshiks. Their uniforms. I mean, it makes sense for a unit that generates gold to have fancy schmancy armor, right? Look at this beautiful gold head covers and helmets for the horses. Another castle for Hera. He is surrounding his opponent. But does his opponent care? I mean, JorDan is taking... I'm going to zoom out. Yeah, JorDan's taking the sizable chunk of the map. He's got plenty of room here for productions. He's building barracks. Okay. That being said, you know, Hera is going to strangle him if he lets him. He's going to just keep continuing to put on the pressure inch by inch, tile by tile on this game until JorDan runs out of space. That being said, let's see if JorDan can... Well, will we see the first Mayan Keshik? No, he runs away from the... I mean, the villagers should be running back, right? Not away if you want to convert the unit. But they might just be on auto command. He might be focusing somewhere else. For now, 8 Keshiks are doing what they are designed to do, which is raid. Although they are taking some castle fire here. He'll get the monk rather. And now he's going. I mean, you had a juicy line here. Why are you running away? You've got 4 armor against the unit that attacks on an 8. But the plumed archers are inside his base. What is this dot? 1 Keshik returning the raiding favor and saying, I'm doing what I'm designed to do, even though I'm Mayan. I mean, probably a better use for these plumed archers than attacking and tickling away at the HP of a few buildings. These Keshiks are still alive, but my god, have they taken a punishing... They've taken a beating. Another castle here for JorDan. Fantastic, fantastic. I would have maybe preferred up on the hill. I mean, you've ceded control of this hill for now, so your opponent can go here. All the Keshiks die in a pool of blood and guts. And what are these plumed archers doing? I mean, 8 kills is okay at this stage of the game, 46 minutes into the game. Okay, chemistry, pikemen, chainmail armor, rather. So we'll see if we get to see elite plumed archers, probably, if he's getting all the upgrades. These are very powerful now. Attack on a 9, and they run on a 1.2. Oh, not powerful enough to withstand this many Keshiks, though, I don't think. I know some players like me to, or some viewers like me to zoom out, but when it's a battle like this, I mean, I gotta zoom in. I gotta watch the carnage. Sorry. All I can see of the plumed archers is their adorable headdresses. The plumes. And now they're all gone. So a complete waste here by JorDan, losing even more plumed archers. Although he doesn't care, he's going pike. Conscription, forging, 2-man saw. Oh, nice. Okay, so Hera is getting Timoride Siegecraft. What that does is 2 things. First of all, his Trebs, which he has, making 4 Trebs, are going to get an extra 2 range. So take a look at the bottom of your screen, 16 plus 2. An incredibly annoying upgrade to deal with for anyone who's facing off against the Tatars. So 18 range. 18 range on these trebuchets. The second thing it does, which I don't really expect to make a big difference in this game, is it gives you access to the Flaming Camels. Now, the Flaming Camels, if you don't know, are a suicide unit like the Petard. What they do is they have a bunch of hay on their back, and as they move, that hay lights on fire, and anything it touches goes kaboom. So it's a one-off use unit. Oh my god, look how far away these Trebs are. What the hell do you do when your opponent does that and gets ballistic? Blast furnace. I mean, masonry goes down, so these castles are going to be a little bit tankier. But I feel like Hera's attacking from the high ground here, no? It kind of looks like the castle is on sea level, let's call it. Wow. You love to see these unique upgrades and technologies. What the hell is JorDan doing, though? I mean, good job moving forward with the halbs, but why did you take a pit stop to look at some houses? This isn't $1 million listing. Oh no, terrible engage here for Hera, though. Wisely garrisons all of his Keshiks inside the castle. Okay, so what I thought was going to be a terrible engage here for JorDan turns out to be a very good engage, although we'll see if he gets this last treb as the Keshiks desperately try to kill the halberdiers. He gets it, and now he's even going to shoo away these Keshiks, although the castle's going to do what castles do and fire a bunch of arrows and kill the weaker trash units. What is this red dot in the back? A solitary lonely Keshik with 4 kills. Random units across the map for our red Mayan player, who is producing Eagle Warriors. He is going up to the Eagle Warrior upgrade, producing 9 of them, 5 of his own trebs to the 1 of his opponent. So now he's going to start shelling away at these castles, which again, Hera has taken on the high ground. Okay, high value target here. 1 house for our blue Tatar, who is getting archer upgrades, chemistry, bracer. I wonder if this means we're going to get to see heavy cavalry archers. I don't know. For now, though, he is building skirmishers, going up to 36 skirmishers. Beautiful placement for these plumed archers on the hill, by the way. This is almost like a reverse Uno card where you're playing the Tatars and you're saying, oh, you want the hill high ground? Let me take that from you. Although army count here is very much in favor of our blue Tatar player. He's about 9-10 units ahead, and those units are much better than what our red Mayan is producing, although he is finally going to elite Eagle Warriors. We'll see if he gets the upgrade to add the extra HP. Where are they right now? There they are, hiding behind a barracks. They're sitting at 60 HP, so he does not have that final upgrade. I believe it's called El Dorado. Another castle going down. I mean, take a look at the mini map. This map is basically evenly split here. JorDan has done an amazing job dislodging Hera and Hera's very ballsy forward town centers, although this one, God, what a pain in the ass. How many villagers here? 29 villagers at risk here for Hera. He doesn't care, though. He is sitting at 145 villagers, building hand cannoneers. Okay. I'm not too sure what Hera's game plan is here. He's losing a lot of castles. And our red Mayan is producing a mix of trash units of these halberdiers and these Eagle Warriors. In terms of infantry, I mean, the Mayans take it handily over the Tatars. The Tatars are not meant to play infantry, as you can tell. Take a look at the top right of your screen. They are missing the last 2 defensive upgrades for their infantry. So this is basically the developers saying, don't go infantry if you're playing Tatars, unless you're absolutely desperate. Not that Hera is going infantry, but I like the Mayan composition here much better. He's got the elite eagles to decimate. They are going to shred through these skirmishers if they get there. I mean, bad engage here for our red Mayan player. What the hell is he doing? Why are you chasing? Okay, finally. Eagles on the right, halbs on the left. Plumed archers, not a lot of them, but tickling away at the HP of his opponent's unit. Another castle, pile of rubble. But my God, these elite Keshiks, their pierce armor is at a 7. So these plumed archers are going to do jack to them. Yeah, he's got to run away. Go south and then go east to the safety, or west rather, to the safety of this castle. And just as I said, I prefer JorDan's army. In come the hand cannoneers, in come the elite Keshiks. But elite plumed archers are on the way. And thumb ring, and ring archer armor, and blast furnace, and architecture. So our Mayan player is settling in for a long game. I generally don't like to cast super duper long games, or super duper short games for that matter. If you notice my channel, there's no like 10-minute videos. That being said, if I had to cast any 2 players for a longer game, it would probably be, you know, these 2 would be top of the list, I would say. I mean, I'm not going to do ruin anything for the tournament that happened recently, but oh yeah, I'm gonna ruin it a little bit. So I'm gonna give you an advance warning. I'm gonna say spoiler alert. If you don't know what happened in the that $100,000 tournament that was played very, very recently, you have 5 seconds from now, or 5 seconds right now, to put your fingers inside your ears, because I'm gonna do a spoiler. These plumes should not be fighting against these elite skirmishers, even if you trade well. I mean, you're trading crap. I think these cost $39.39 based on the cheaper archer units, as I said. So okay, so here's the spoiler if you didn't watch that tournament. Okay, ready? I'm giving you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hera did really well. Let's put it like that. Hera did really well. So he is the player to watch right now. And right now he is gunning through this entire army. These hand cannons were a brilliant, brilliant tech switch here. 25 kills for this group of 11. What is our Mayan player going to do? He is producing nothing but plumed archers and halberdiers. His eagle warriors, though, have raided. Finally, for JorDan's sake, he's managed to put a little dent into this super annoying colony that Hera put down, what, at the first 25 minutes of the game? Finally, he's getting rid of them, but he's got to come up with an answer to these hand cannons. I mean, these elite eagle warriors, look at how much HP is just being taken off. Dead. Red dead here. That being said, I mean, 115 villagers for the Mayans is not bad. Okay, he's upgraded his elite skirmishers. Let's see if we'll see the upgrade that they throw a second javelin. I'll keep an eye out on the left unless he's already researched it and I missed it. Hera, 23 idle villagers. So technically, even though he's got fewer villagers, JorDan is actually ahead in productive mining villagers. That being said, this is a very exposed wood line. You have got to run away quicker. Okay, or send a few halbs here, no? Beautiful shot here to get rid of Hera's one and only trebuchet. But as I said, he needs to come up with an answer to these hand cannons. Hera knows that's his ace in the hole right now. So he's going up to 20 of them. Light Cav starting to do what Light Cav does best, which is raid on all sides of the map. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the game, where when you watch pro gamers towards the later stages of the game, and I would call an hour and 3 minutes pretty late in the game, they never wall off their bases, and their bases, I'm going to zoom out, just expand everywhere. So you have your initial portion, you have usually one kind of area where you expand. He's chosen to go right instead of north or west, but then you have little outposts because you need wood, you need food. Everyone has them. Hera has them here. These are completely exposed here in the back. Here, where he was, he's been annoying for the entire game. Finally, a few trebs. Rather, a few. There's 4 in here. Interesting. Okay. So when you have this kind of stage of the game, you really need to raid. And that's one quick way to ensure that your opponent GG's faster than you. Although, advantage raiding here to the Tatars, of course. I mean, the Mayans don't have cavalry. Their closest is the elite eagle warrior, which he has none of anymore. And those actually cost significant resources, so... Oh, God. I mean... I wish there was a stat to show how many of these plumed archers have gone down this game. And again, JorDan is just move commanding. Okay, based on the giant flaming projectiles that are coming out of these spearmen, I think he's got the upgrade that they throw the second one. I mean, look at the quantity that's coming out of them. Okay, protects the trebs quite well with these arbalests. But my God, JorDan has lost a huge amount of plumed archers this entire game. Where are you going? Are you going to join the army? No. Before she gets to the treb, she gets a bullet to the head. And now Hera, who has basically created himself a little military industrial complex in the center of the map, is just pumping out military units. Although at the moment, our red mine is significantly ahead. But he's ahead because he's got 51 elite skirmishers, which are going to melt in the face of 38 hussars. And he's got to come up with a way to deal with this treb now, as well as these 13 remaining hand cannoneers. And a sour loss here for our red Mayan, losing 4 trebs. He has now 0 trebs. Okay, Hera establishing a little wood cutting colony. Yeah, he got the upgrade. I just didn't notice. I apologize. I do not like to miss things. Each one of these, I mean, look how cool it looks when they throw multiple spears or javelins, whatever. For God's sake, please get murder holes. This is a PSA. This is a public service announcement from Cast of Empires to everyone who has an Elo greater than 2,000. In fact, to anyone who has any Elo at all, 600, 1600, 517, it doesn't matter. For God's sakes, get murder holes. There is nothing cheap about them except the cost. They are just fantastic. I mean, I don't know if it would have killed all the hussars that were going there. And eventually they did die to these halberdiers, which have 9 kills among them. But they definitely would have lost a significant amount of HP. Finally gets rid of the Treb. Look at Hera just pushing forward with this production. He is supply capped at 200. Our red Mayan struggling to get up above 170. An unfinished barracks. I mean, come on, get murder holes. It's not an expensive upgrade. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about murder holes. I do this every cast, and then I mention it every cast, and then I mention that I mention it. So talk about being a broken record, huh? Anyway, JorDan is defending this as best he can. Like I said, no murder holes. Hera here at least trying to create some kind of wall off, but I mean, JorDan's got 300 stone in the bank. Hera's got 90. Both of these players have enough for a wall slash palisade slash structure. Cheeky move here by the hussars to go around the halberdiers and then go face first into these weak as shit skirmishers. Beautiful micro. Like I said, this is a micro intensive army, and Hera is basically a micro god at the moment. And he is just pushing in. Army count is now very much in favor of Hera. He's about 50% ahead in army supply. A single skirmisher taking on a lumber camp. Good luck to him. Okay, I mean, in theory, JorDan has the counter composition, right? Halberdiers, but they are slow. He has now lost access to a bunch of resource lines. His units are very clumped here. They have to take the long road. This is not good for JorDan. Although Hera keeps engaging into castle firing zone, not for long though. 2 juicy trebs. Square formation here by Hera. He does not want to take any adjacent damage from 2 projectiles for each skirmisher. And at this point of the game, we've devolved into a trash war with the exception of 9 Eagle Warriors being made and 1 solitary remaining hand cannoneer with no fewer than 11 kills. I mean, you know, give that guy the Medal of Honor, right? Or whatever the top military award decoration is in your country. Give that to that hand cannoneer with 11 kills. I mean, those hand cannons were invaluable. But JorDan, don't throw away your eagles. I mean, you've got 20 gold in the bank. You cannot be affording Eagle Warriors right now, especially if you're going to throw them against Hussars, which are garbage units. Garbage in terms of cost, obviously, not in terms of damage output. I mean, they're doing quite well against these Eagle Warriors, all things considered. But does Hera care? I mean, look at his production facility. It's literally inside JorDan's base. This is Hera doing what Hera does best. Houses going down to account for the castles being destroyed. And I mean, JorDan is just feeding at this point. No, what the hell's the point of sending 8, 9, 10? I mean, rally them somewhere else. Yeah, he's feeding. I think we're gonna see a GG soon, if not in the next like 10 seconds. Hera sitting at 133 villagers, supply capped at 200. JorDan knocked down to his ass at 140. And by the way, most of that's in military. Villager count is still fairly similar, 130 to 117. I mean, what is he doing sending these random individual units? You're just wasting money here. You got to be frugal at this stage of the game. Every single ounce of gold, every single 2x4 of lumber. Okay, I better engage here for JorDan as I'm yammering on about Home Depot prices. But clearly not enough. These skirmishers here for Hera, what he's got, 32 of them on the field of battle. That hand cannoneer, unfortunately, is now dead, paid for his service with his life. But yeah, JorDan has no answer to these trebs. Oh my god, Hera just queued 11 flaming camels. Not the best, I would say. I mean, at this point, this is becoming a, you know, this is just him having fun at this point, because that's not a fantastic unit at, you know, against what our Mayan player is producing, especially if our Mayan player keeps sending in one unit at a time. But Hera's inside. All relic control is gone for our red Mayan player. And take a look at the mini map. It's no longer 50-50. Yeah, I'm not. Big surprise. Where the hell are the flaming camels? Oh, he did not even manage to get them because he's so supply blocked. So Hera is at 200 population, and he's got 41 and 26. What is that? 67 units in the queue. So he's good. He can produce military for days. And I think before he had over 140 villagers, I think that was overkill. 130, 120, 110 even is enough at this stage of the game. But my God, I'm going to zoom out. What the hell? Look at this. This looks like box art cover from the 1990s when this game first came out. What are we looking at here even? 31 stables. 10 archery ranges. Oh my god, 104 villagers on food for our blue Tatar player who takes the W in this game. Let's take a look at the stats. This is going to be fun AF. Hera 277 hussars to the 400 halberdiers. APM 255. I mean, I told you Tatar is a civilization that you need to micro because there's advantages in hills, for example, so you want to always make sure you have the hills. These are expensive units, at least in the earlier stages of the game or mid stages of the game. 197 is incredible here for JorDan as well. Fantastic, fantastic. Kill count, holy shnikes. JorDan has killed 618, 52 of which are villagers. Hera has killed 930, with 100 being villagers. So not surprising here for Hera. I mean, how many times throughout this cast did I say that JorDan looked like he was feeding units and just throwing away plumed archers? Did he think that he had access to more resources? Did he think that he could produce more? I mean, you're playing against Hera. I don't know. In any event, fantastic here. Hera just took an immediate control. I would absolutely love to know the logic behind Hera first building a town center here, then another one here, then another one here. Why did he build all those town centers in his opponent's face? Doesn't really matter at this stage. Look at how far his production. I mean, 30 stables. Did I even get them all? Yeah, 31 stables. Holy shit. Our red Mayan, 10 barracks, 10 archery ranges. So not terrible. And finally, instead of feeding, he decides to house and garrison his halberdiers inside the barracks. But too little, too late for our Mayan player. I really thought the Mayans had the civilizational advantage, especially in a trash war, no? I mean, you have the better skirmishers with the second projectile. Your infantry have better upgrades, because like I said, take a look at the top right. The Tatars don't get the last two upgrades for infantry, so Hera was not going to go infantry at all. So you've got pretty tanky infantry, pretty tanky skirmishers, and you've got the ultimate raiding unit that's much cheaper than the Keshik. I think the Keshik is 60 food, 40 gold. You've got Eagle Warriors. Never mind, not cheaper. But yeah, I really thought that the Mayans would have the upper hand, but I think JorDan just lost too many units. He was feeding too much, and then eventually I mean, he quit with 1,000 wood and 1,600 food in the bank. This is enough to build what, 3 Eagle Warriors? How much gold he has? But in terms of trash units, I don't know. 10 barracks is nothing compared to 31 stables. Have you ever seen such madness? 31 stables. Hera very much playing into the strength of his civilization. Would have loved to see JorDan put up a stronger fight for a few minutes more, just so we could see these flaming camels being produced. Where are they? Here they are, the flaming camels, out of his only 2 castles, which are defensive castles, which is very interesting. So would love to be a fly on the wall of Hera's brain right now to see exactly why his castles were in a defensive position, even though he did lose a shit ton of castles to the Trebs of our Mayan. And our Mayan for a while was looking like he was actually going to dominate the game. No, he took down, I think, 2 or 3 castles. His plumed archers were raiding, but then, my God, did they die to the Keshiks here in the northern portion of Hera's base. Overall, though, I think JorDan just threw away too many villagers. His economy was great. I mean, 113 villagers in a trash war is, I think, basically that's like the bottom end of what you need. Hera's at the top end of what you need. So between these 2 players is probably the sweet money spot for a trash war. But what can you do with when your opponent goes 104 villagers on food and then builds 31 stables, half of which are, by the way, on your side of the map, a bunch of which are inside your base. So overall, JorDan sees the writing on the wall, sees that Hera cannot be stopped. I mean, what do you do against this army when you've got 16 army supply? He's literally 4 or 5 times the size of you at the moment, and he's got Trebs and a bit more resources than you, although, you know, JorDan doesn't know how many resources Hera has. Overall, though, what a fun game. We got to see the unique units for both players. We got to see Step Lancers, which are always fun to watch, in my opinion. They're just so fast and cool, and just a very cool unit that the developers added to the game. And overall, JorDan just loses too much, taps out, and Hera gets the W. But as always, GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.